Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Josie's Point of View, where we focus on human nature stories from the Carolinas and beyond. Today's Sunday, and it's September the 8th, 2024. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you're new to my channel, I want to thank you so much for stopping by. I hope you find the information here to be informative. And if you're a returning viewer, by all means, thank you for coming back. I always say the tide changes so frequently on these YouTube streets. So you always have to acknowledge where your support comes from. And I want you to know I sincerely thank you for your support. Feel free to like and to share this video. And don't forget to subscribe. Well, my focus today is a bit different, and it's my first beef sector review. I wanted to give you my personal take on Vegas Gate 2024. Now, this was promoted by Ness and as a Finesses convention, and people were invited and disinvited, and others decided to show up with their own groups. So, my review involves only the key players. So now that everyone has turned in their after action review and have had their comments and their commentary, let me tell you the 10 things I am taking away from this Vegas trip based on what I saw and what I heard. So, number one, leading up to the convention, Ness and Lemon sexualized this Vegas trip. And when they met in person, they did not live up to each other's expectation. First, leading up to the trip, Lemon showed his face for the first time, and the women saw him as a sex symbol. Okay, they heard his voice before, but when they saw his face, it was yes, they couldn't wait to see the rest of him. And Ness talked about the personal conversation she was having with Lemon behind the scene and the fact that he had personally showed her a lot of his body. She said that. I was there. I heard it for myself. They both made it seem as if they had chemistry, strong chemistry. Lemon specifically said that he would eat out her box and that he would definitely frock her in Vegas. I'm using my words carefully. I ain't lying to you. That's exactly what he said on his show. The subscribers asked him, and he responded, yes, he said that he would. But when they met, it was a disappointment. The sparks simply did not fly. That's why they avoided each other in Vegas. Lemon was turned off, and he tried to pretend. He tried so hard to pretend, but it was obvious. That's why he deliberately missed that party bus and why he spent most of his time with Shaquem. So Ness and Lemon meeting up was a miss, not a hit for me. Number two, let's talk about Lori, aka Lolo. Now, they did not want her going on that trip, and that was obvious. Ness said she was not going to be looking out for anybody. It was going to be every man or woman for themselves. And it came to light that Lori would need wheelchair assistance, and it was Jay Dunn who made that information public based on the fact of some conversation she had had with Ness behind the scene, and some disparaging remarks had been made. So Ness said she was not going to be taking care of anybody. But despite her disability, Lori had a sponsor and she was determined that she was going. Lori said she did not care if hell was freezing over. She was going on the Don Vegas Strip, even if she had to push her own wheelchair around. And that's almost what she did. But nonetheless, it appears that Lola enjoyed her time in Vegas, the most of which she spent by herself. Initially, it seems as if she was being dishonest when she told her viewers that Lemon and Shaquem had raided her liquor bar in her room. She did not say she told them that they can have the liquor, but eventually she came back and she clarified her statement. Next, let's talk about the fashion sense of the group or lack of fashion sense of the group. I have to tell you that it was really in kind of poor taste because they obviously did not research where they were going. They could have done a google.com and just asked what to wear in Vegas and they would have gotten some ideas of what would be appropriate. Now, Ness had one green dress that stood the test, but everything else looked like it came from the Temu clearance rack. Lemon was underdressed and a bit inappropriate at times. That rag on his head and them woman looking glasses was just too much. Can't understand why the covering up of his face. We already saw what he looked like. This was just a distraction. This was not the time, especially when he was wearing them glasses when he was even inside. Shaquem did not have any clothes. He went to Vegas with flip flops and basketball shorts and costumes and wigs. Didn't make sense at all. Laurie said people backed away when they saw him coming. She said he looked a mess and he ran out of clothes and he was wearing lemon clothes at the time. What the hell? So Ness had a stash from Timu, which was underrated, but beyond that, everybody just looked cheap and out of place. Next, let's get back to Shekim for a while. Now, he initially had a room, but he was kicked out of it, and it's possible he only had that room for one night. And it does appear he was staying in the same room with Ness and Lemon. But another problem with Shekim, besides his lack of appropriate clothes, was the fact that he did not take showers every day, and there was some agreement that he had a strong body odor. Lori was adamant that he smelled, that he was stinking, and she was not the only person who said that. The smell was even mentioned by Lemon, who said they could downplay the smell by having him use Lemon's cologne. Now, hear this, that does not work. Now, people can say that's a lie all they want, but when it's hot and you're sweaty and you're wearing the same dirty clothes day after day, it's going to smell. That's a fact, okay? Now, I fault the group because they should have directed him to take a shower. They should have directed him to take a shower, wrap his little self in a towel, hand wash his dirty clothes, and hang him out to dry. And with the hot temperature in Las Vegas, it would have dried in no time. But I have to tell you one thing that I take issue with as well. If, as a woman, and I'm speaking as a woman and as a mother, if this young man, yes, he's a pain in the ass and he's disrespectful as heck, but the fact that he's around you and he's stinking, why didn't you not pull him aside and say, look, don't take this personally, but I think you should go ahead and change your clothes or take a shower. Should have done that. So for me, this was another miss, but I think it was a lot of shade when this here could have been avoided. Now, there were a lot of lies, a lot of deceptions, a lot of misrepresentations, whatever you want to call it. Let's start from the beginning. Now, we were told that the sponsor, that person who sponsored the strip, was a millionaire. I don't know about that. The accommodations was modest, at least. But again, it was also grossly exaggerated. We were told there would be a camera crew. The only crew I saw were a few people in the group taking pictures, and their view was restricted because they were forbidden from taking pictures of Ness below the waist. And when she thought some of the folks were taking pictures of her, she just went off. She was nasty as heck and had to come back later and apologize. Now, we saw the first pictures, and what we saw was a lot of cleavage. They were taking a lot of breast tissue because they did not want to take pictures below the waist. Why? I won't say it. Now, we wanted to see what was going on, not looking at one person's bosom. So there was no camera crew. We were told over 6K was going to be spent on security. Again, that was a lie. There was no security. And if there was security, they were definitely invisible. So that was another lie. We were also told that the accommodations would be a suite. It was just a basic room. It was just a basic room, one simple bedroom and one bath. A bedroom and probably a living area that had a sofa and one bath. That was it. Nothing to brag about. The millionaire sponsor provided basic accommodations. That was it. Nothing to brag about. No camera crew, no filming, no security. Just a basic budget trip. Now it seems as if they were all unhappy with each other, and as they failed to deliver content, they began to say negative things about each other, or should I say, all three of the major players were involved here. And we're talking about Ness, we're talking about Lemon, and we're talking about Shakim. Not so much Lemon, but he has to be mentioned here. Now, they were supposed to have had a mock wedding, and say whatever you wish. None of the public knew this was not going to happen. When they left, we were under the impression that there was going to be a mock wedding. But it appears there must have been some conversation between Ness and Lemon because he did not take the wedding attire he had purchased for the occasion. Now, it was a big deal that he had purchased this attire and he was sharing it with Ness and she talked about it. We didn't see what it was, but we know he had purchased something for it. So it seems awfully strange. We thought it was going to be a wedding. Now, Ness talked about Lemon to Honest Row and said that Lemon was gay and that's why she would not marry him because Honest Row kept pressing. He wanted to know when was the wedding going to happen, why when was not going to happen. So she came out and said, Honest Row, why would I marry somebody who is gay? And I personally think she realized the mock wedding was not going to take place, and then she got on the defensive and told Honest Row that she would not marry a gay man. Well, since this was all a pretend wedding, what difference does it make if it's all a pretend wedding? But I do believe Lemon changed his mind and did deliberately not take the wedding clothes with him to Vegas. I think Ness's attitude changed when she realized there would be no wedding because that was supposed to have been the highlight of the trip. And seems to me the people on the trip with them, they didn't know it was not going to happen either. Okay, so that was the first issue. And then Ness tried to create this love triangle between Shakim and Lemon. She wanted them to pretend that they were in some type of gay fling, and Shakim agreed to go along with it, but Lemon said, "Hell no, I didn't sign up for this." And I think that was another source of friction. But then again, it tied into all the lies and deceptions. And we simply have to talk about that party bus. But let's say there was no private party bus, by the way. That was another lie. It was a public bus with all sorts of people on it. Lemon and Shakim could not go on it because they were not dressed appropriately. So they went back to the room and they did not return to the group because Shakim, he had no clothes. And that really infuriated Ness. And to be honest, I don't blame her. But Shakim did not have the right clothes, and Lemon probably did not want to leave him alone in their room. And Shaquille probably had nowhere else to go, and that's probably why Lemon stayed. We don't know, but I'm assuming that's why he stayed. Seems to be a very kind-hearted person, and he's trying so hard not to hurt Shaquille's feelings. But I think that's why he stayed in the back with him. But as the fact is, they did not return, and they did not make an effort to rejoin the party. They went online, fueling another gay episode rumor. And when the others returned to the room, they tried to surprise them with cameras going as the door was open. It was just a hot mess. And another set of lies is when Ness pretended that she had picked up a condom wrapper and made a big scene only to find out later that too was just a lie. But they probably forgot to tell Shakim the extent of their play acting because he took it to another extreme. Because when he came back, another content creator asked him about that condom wrapper, and he went on to identify what type it probably was and to say that Next picked it up, and when she picked it up, he saw contents in it. And that was probably the biggest lie of all, fueling for the rumors of a gay relationship. Now, I was tuning into all of this from an international vacation. I was winding down my 30-day vacation. And besides what I've already mentioned, the only other thing I saw were the core people acting outright ghetto and looking as if they just don't know how to have fun. They were behaving like people who just didn't get out much. I could not understand why Nest, the hostess, was backing her butt into the crouch of male group members and whining on them. That was extremely ghetto and in very poor taste, Nest. If you want people to take you professionally, you have to act professionally. You must do better. I can't blame the sponsor for wanting to stay anonymous. This entire thing made her look bad as hell. So I have to agree with some of the content creators who have labeled this a low budget vacation that simply overpromised and underdelivered. Now, but it's over, and you would think it's Mad Day already because Lemon and Ness' relationship is cold as ice. Lolo and Shakim's relationship is non-existent. Honest Roll was probably bothered by the hype of a Lemon and Shakim perceived relationship because he finally got the courage to cuss out Shakim. All right. Lolo and Ness's relationship is turning into ice as well. And now, after a few screaming matches, Kim has announced that he is now going to be moving to California. But I am so glad this mess is over, and it's time for me to return to my regular commentary. And that's all I have for you right now, but feel free to leave me a comment below and let me know what you think about this video. And by all means, feel free to like it and to share it. And if you haven't done so already, I want to invite you to subscribe to my channel by clicking on that red subscribe button. It's on the bottom right hand corner of your screen. And if you click on the bell that looks like just like this one, that's the notification bell. If you click on that notification bell, you'll be the first to know whenever a new video is uploaded. I thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.